Some Republicans are questioning their confidence in Pete Hegseth. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Thursday, December 4th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. The defense secretary is under increasing scrutiny. Last week, the Post reported that Hegseth gave a spoken order in September to kill the entire crew of a vessel in the Caribbean. Since then, various members of the Trump administration have offered different explanations of that strike on alleged drug smugglers. And in the past week, the House and Senate Armed Services Committees have opened separate inquiries to determine whether Hegseth or another senior military official may be culpable for orders they gave in the attack. Adding to Hegseth's troubles, yesterday, a watchdog found he endangered U.S. troops with his use of the unclassified messaging app Signal to share highly sensitive attack plans. Several members of Congress and aides told the Post that Republican support for the secretary and other top Pentagon officials is weakening. President Donald Trump unexpectedly pardoned Democratic Representative Henry Cuellar of Texas. That's number 2. Cuellar is one of the most conservative Democrats in the House. Last year, he was charged with bribery, money laundering, and conspiracy. He and his wife, Imelda, were accused of taking part in a bold corruption scheme. Cuellar allegedly promised to wield his power as a U.S. congressman to advocate for his benefactors. Yesterday, Trump pardoned them both. He said the investigation was un-American and accused Democrats of trying to, quote, destroy and decimate anyone who dares to oppose their far-left agenda. Cuellar spoke to reporters on Capitol Hill after news of the pardon.
First of all, I want to thank President Trump for this action that he took. On behalf of my wife and my family, I want to say thank you. I think the facts have been very clear about this, but I would also say I want to thank God for standing during this very difficult time with my family and I. Now we can get back to work. Nothing has changed. We will continue working hard.
Within hours of the pardon announcement, Cuellar filed the paperwork to run for re-election in 2026 as a Democrat. Number 3. Federal vaccine advisors will vote today on changing the childhood vaccination schedule. The advisors, picked by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., will decide on lifting a recommendation for all newborns to get the hepatitis B vaccine. The panel is weighing a recommendation to give the vaccine at birth only for infants born to infected mothers and to delay the first dose for others. Medical associations urge retaining the universal recommendation to ensure nobody lacks protection from the highly infectious virus. Hepatitis B can cause serious lifelong liver disease, cancer, and death. Some critics say adopting the change would also stoke parents' fears about the shots, which have been shown over decades to be safe and effective. Number 4. A newly released trove of photos exposes Syria's former killing machine. In 2014, a cache of images was made public from Syria. It showed in grisly detail the torture and killing that occurred in the notorious prison system of the former Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. It made global headlines, contributed to war crimes convictions in Germany, and led to sanctions against the Assad regime in the U.S. But a new trove of 70,000 photos shows that did nothing to stop the Syrian state's mass arrests, torture, and killing of its opponents and others. Among the newly released photos, which were leaked by an ex-military officer, are images of more than 10,000 people who died in detention or after they were transferred from detention to military hospitals. The photos encompass Assad's last decade in power. He was ousted by rebels nearly 1 year ago. America's plan to protect pedestrians has failed. That's our fifth story. Vision Zero is a national initiative to stem traffic deaths. Since the Obama administration, the federal government has encouraged cities to adopt measures in engineering, vehicle standards, and police enforcement to save lives. But a post-analysis reveals that the program has faltered in city after city. It has been derailed by driver opposition and a lack of money, even though life-saving measures such as lower speed limits and more pedestrian crossings can be relatively inexpensive. The Post looked at data from 27 cities and found that all but one now have the same or higher pedestrian death rates than before they adopted Vision Zero. In our newsletter today, you can look up all the pedestrian deaths in your city from 2021 to 2023 and see if you live near a danger zone. Number 6. Amazon could cut ties with USPS and build its own delivery network. For a long time, Amazon has been a top customer for the U.S. Postal Service. The company has provided USPS with more than $6 billion of annual revenue in 2025, according to people familiar with the matter. That's an important source of income for USPS, which posted multi-billion-dollar losses in 9 of the past 10 years. But formal talks to renew a deal have largely concluded without one, according to people who spoke with the Post anonymously. They told us that Amazon is preparing to start its own delivery network, and that could be disastrous for the Postal Service. Full disclosure before we go, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos owns the Post. And at number 7, wearing pajamas to the airport is now a political statement. Last month, I told you about a video featuring Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He told air travelers they should dress with respect, hearkening back to a golden age of travel. Well, it seems that some people aren't convinced. In TikTok videos and other social media, many travelers said they would double down on their commitment to wearing PJs and slippers to the airport. One comedian, Kat Sullivan, took another strategy. She decided to take the directive a little too literally. She wore a long gown with an old Hollywood feel to the airport, which turned out to be a little too cold once she got to Wyoming. The overall vibe among critics is that the indignities of air travel today, with its delays, fees, and minimal service, are not actually deserving of your finest clothes. All right, you're all caught up. We have been loving looking at the Seven's Spotify Wrapped. It turns out The Seven was among Spotify's most shared podcasts. We love to hear that, so keep doing it. We were also among the longest listened to shows and the most commented on shows. You guys clearly have a lot of opinions. Good for you. And we hope we made it to your Spotify Wrapped. Let us know if we did. Email us at the7pod@washpost.com. That's the number 7. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.